To delve further into this, I'm joined now by human rights lawyer, Advocate Nqobizitha Mlilo. Advocate, good to have you with us tonight. Surely it is illegal or beyond the bounds of legality, this idea of vaccinating or getting fired. What gives the government of Zimbabwe a right to say so?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I think that there are at least three issues that arise from this position that has been taken by the government. The first one is that let's assume that Zimbabwe is a democratic country. Let's assume that Zimbabwe is what the government of Zimbabwe says it is, that it is a constitutional democracy. In a constitutional democracy, it is not possible that you issue a directive as a policy directive and indicate that that is how the government intends to proceed on a matter so serious as the issue of vaccinating people, on an issue that is so serious that it implicates the Bill of Rights. It is not possible that you by virtue of issuing a policy directive, can instruct people to be forced to vaccinate. It will be necessary that there should be a legislative injunction, that there must be a law and a law of general application that would force people to vaccinate. So my position would be that it appears to me that such conduct would be not only illegal, but it would be extremely unconstitutional to force people to vaccinate.
Now, what has been the reaction from the people on the ground to this? Will they challenge this? Will they be able to challenge this? And on what grounds?
Well, Zimbabwe is a country in which there is a deficit of trust between the government of Zimbabwe and the people of Zimbabwe. Obviously, the past elections have produced a disputed electoral result and has produced a disputed government. So what then even necessitates is that the government should force people to vaccinate is precisely because there's a failure of persuasion, that a government is unable to persuade its people to behave in a particular manner. I don't see it possible that the people of Zimbabwe would be forced to go and vaccinate. It will only create circumstances under which the people will either act corruptly or force people to go and buy anything that would indicate that people are vaccinated.
What about union-represented employees? Are there unions and bargaining councils reaching out to their employers on this matter?
Like I've indicated, the trust deficit that exists between the government of Zimbabwe and the people of Zimbabwe is quite yearning. And it is also true between the government of Zimbabwe and organized labor. So I don't see the possibility that the two parties will be able to find each other on such an important issue. The real point being that the trust deficit between the government of Zimbabwe and all social actors in the country creates a situation under which it is not possible that the government and the people of Zimbabwe will find each other.
So how do you see this particular one playing out? I mean, is the government likely going to try and enforce this on the public servants? And what will this result in? Will it be a complete collapse of the system?
Well, living under a dictatorship or a government that has no relationship with its people creates different possibilities. My own sense is that, well, as it is now, there are not enough vaccines in the country to be able to compel people to vaccinate. As we speak, the government has only been able to vaccinate 3% of the population. So on one end, you are forcing people to vaccinate and issuing threats that if you don't vaccinate, there are consequences for not vaccinating when you don't have the capacity to provide the dosages for people to vaccinate. I think scientifically, very few people would argue with the scientific need for people to vaccinate as a means of controlling the spread of this pandemic. But it is also quite another to insist on people vaccinating when in fact you don't have the vaccines available for people to vaccinate. So in the medium to short term, I don't see that it will be possible for the government of Zimbabwe to insist on civil servants to be vaccinated when in fact they don't have the dosages available for people to vaccinate.
Now, are you saying this posture is a mere attempt, I suppose, at coercion, even though currently there are not enough vaccines in the country, but certainly to try and get people convinced to an extent that they should get vaccinated?
I think posture is the correct word to use. It is a political gimmick. It is a posture. It is something without substance. When I personally heard of it yesterday and today, I was quite shocked to hear of it, because you cannot insist on people vaccinating and issuing threats that people be vaccinated when in fact you don't have the necessary dosages to have people vaccinated. So posture is indeed the correct word to use.
Nqobizitha Mlilo, I appreciate your time and thank you very much for joining us. The advocate Nqobizitha Mlilo, a human rights lawyer in Zimbabwe, assisting us in that conversation.